If it's undercovered, underreported, or a waste of time, you can be sure we'll be heard. Nothing is off limits.
Welcome to Broad Street Radio.
Welcome to Broad Street Radio. I'm Michael Morris with my good friend Joseph Reiner, and in the background on the ones and twos, Nathan Schoner. Nate, I want to go to you first because I never go to you during the show. How are things?
Good.
God, that guy. He comes through every time.
I
The
do
guy's
have
clutch.
a question for you.
Oh, shit.
And it could just be because I'm not as old as you are, but
Hurtful, go on.
what are the ones and twos? I've always wondered that.
Did you not see the movie Juice?
No.
Where there's a big rap battle, a DJ battle? That's like you're behind. You're on the wheels of steel. What do kids do today? Do they not mix records together?
I mean, I'm not a kid, but I didn't understand your ones and twos reference.
You've never heard that term?
No.
This show is already terrible.
I thought it was the ones and zeros. I thought
it was
That's coding.
failed,
That's coding.
Oh, I thought that's why I
Emanuel
failed computer science.
Yeah. Do you know there wasn't a computer science when we were in school? It was more like typing.
Right, but okay, except for that I actually took computer science, and we
And
had
you're
to
sitting here
program.
today, so
I know,
life
right?
worked out.
Well, I'm almost done programming the Monopoly game on the green screen computer, which I thought would be, like really simple, and it turns out that took a while.
You know, I love that we're talking about technology because I want to ask you a question. As you're now the resident expert here on dating apps and social media. Is that fair to say?
I don't really even know what you're talking about.
Well, you are the king of swiping. You are swiper, no swiping. You send me
Swiper all the swiping.
the Tinder pictures and videos and all that stuff. I have this question because you are. How long's it been since your divorce?
How has it been? I don't know. 4 years?
4 blissful years.
Is that what I said?
I'm adding that.
Did I conceal the smile?
Adjectives
good.
help. Well, you
Yes.
were married at what? The age of 11 years old.
I was 11 years old.
You were young. And so my question to you is this, as Nate likes to remind everybody that we are slightly older than most people.
Slightly.
Do you find it, well, this is a man that, first of all, he's going to have to stay married the rest of his life. I mean, he has like a village full of children. They're all young.
Oh, okay.
His life is over.
I just want to see all of their beards.
His daughter's beard is amazing. It comes to a fine
bet
point.
it is fabulous.
She looks like Jim the Anvil Neidhart. It's adorable for a 7-year-old.
Yes. that's
My
perfect.
my question is like, so we always talk about how society's kind of changed and there's not a lot of civility anymore. All we do is use social media to like attack either celebrities or our friends.
I hadn't noticed, but go ahead.
Fair. So the question I have is, what is your life like, your social life now? Because you are using these apps or were using these apps back in the day. I have never used one. Like, I don't understand the point of it. When you
Okay.
have a high school yearbook and you just go back and go, she's divorced and has a bunch of kids. Let's date that girl.
That's perfect. Okay, I haven't had a drink of coffee yet, and I may murder somebody. So,
Oh, by
I
all
thought
means.
we've talked about this. Do not speak with me before I have my coffee. And then, because there's a really funny meme. I think that my aunt or somebody
A meme?
posts every morning, a meme.
Yeah.
Or a GIF or a GIF.
Is it GIF or GIF? I always say GIF.
Oh, this is very controversial, Michael. I think we should warn everyone.
Well, I was going to do Roe
Pineapple
v.
on
Wade, but I'm
pizza.
going deep
Yeah.
into the lore of what the worst thing is we can argue about.
GIF and GIF, pineapple and pizza. I mean, I don't even know if we can get past this, really. We're a divided nation.
You know, this all started on 9/11.
It did.
Everything fell apart after that.
Yeah, and it ramped up on January 6th. Yeah, the dating apps that I've heard about.
Are those two connected? January 6th and the
They
dating
are.
apps?
Yes. Yes.
A lot of single men were scaling those walls.
Yes, and they're all the Trump or no Trump, Trumpies or no Trumpies on the app. That's the filter.
Is that actually a thing? Like, do people put their politics on
Oh,
there as well?
I yes.
So how many are there? There's Tinder. There's Bumble. Is that a thing?
I believe so. Yes.
Are there more than? There's Plenty of Fish, which was explained to me long time ago, where it's just randomly hooking up with people.
Oh, is that what that is?
You should download that.
Okay.
I'm just saying for show purposes. so you know.
There's Grinder, but I actually thought it was like a coffee support group or something. But
I would have
actually
download-
turns out to be much different than that.
Yeah, I don't think that's the one for you.
It isn't.
Just my opinion.
I mean, I met some nice golfing buddies. I met some.
I like that you're already tearing up the equipment as
We're gonna
we're
tear
5
it up.
minutes in. When you so what led you to want to do that? Because I've never done it, and I'm just kind of curious because I can't find anybody in a real life that I want to spend that much time talking to. You're actually going to buy this person lunch or dinner.
Well, I think when you're on there, when and if you're on there, I think that you're looking for somebody you don't want to spend that much time with. So it's really
So you're looking for another marriage.
That's true. Yeah,
Okay.
someone I hardly ever talk to. Every once in a while, sprinkle in some physical affection, but it's not even really.
Do you mean like
Required.
a coach hug? Like it's all right, you struck out 3 times?
yeah.
Or are you going both hands locked behind?
That's pretty good. Little pat on the knee, can you hand me the remote, honey? That sort of thing.
Oh, so you want them to stay around.
Well, just to get the remote if I can't reach
I
it.
see.
There's that.
Have you reached the level of laziness where you're like, I need someone in my life in case I need a ride to the hospital or something?
It really is. Then I tell my kids about how back in the olden days we had to get up and switch the TV at the TV, which we do now anyways because we can never find the remote. So there's that.
Do you think it's harder to kind of restart your life in your 40s? I mean, it's happening to a lot of people that in general, but like people we know. I think we know more people that are trying to restart their life in their 40s.
Right.
Versus the people that are still married, like our friend Dave, who can never leave his house.
Yeah, he's really overcompensating. Dave is, I think, given how he makes his money, his legitimate business interests.
He's a
I think
legitimate police person.
Yeah, and he's got to keep up appearances with the the wife,
Right.
and the kids. No, 40 is 40 is where it's at. I mean, maybe that's just because it's because the 20s and 30s sucked, but 40s, why not?
What I find interesting about it is the people that I know that like, whenever I have a question about these things and I just want to be entertained, I'm like, I know that Joe will know the answer to this. But there are people that are really trying to find like a life partner through here.
Sure.
I always think it's funny as you showed me a picture of somebody we went to high school with that looks emaciated and literally if she saw you in the grocery store, you'd go the other way, but yet you're kind of like, I might swipe right. Wait, which one is that you keep? You keep swiping left or swiping right as you keep it?
It's like the Wonka Vader. You go up ways and down ways and sideways and short ways and all. It's right. Right is keep.
Oh, I thought you meant once you go on the date, those are all the.
That's true too.
Okay.
Yeah, that is true.
Did you ever judge somebody when you see their picture, as I would do, as we did before the show
Yes.
started? So what gets you to take the next step? You're bored?
Yeah, that's a good start. Boredom is.
I mean,
is
isn't that kind of what it's about anyway? Like I'm
It
at
is.
work, I'm supposed to be working, so I'm going to look on this app for
yeah,
love.
kind of like similar to people being on TikTok right now and watching like what they should be working or they should be doing.
Well, we're
something else.
educating them right now.
We are educating them.
We're on
Yes.
TikTok Live educating the
Yeah,
masses.
yeah.
Well,
But
I think Nate is sleeping or he's watching another show on TikTok.
He
I don't know what
is.
he's doing.
He
Are we
is.
still recording? I completely zoned out.
No, we're not.
As soon as he hits record on the mics, I think he tunes out. He watches something else.
I mean, I tuned out like 10 seconds after, but yeah, that's legit.
Have you ever seen this show? Like you've been on the show many times. Have you ever watched yourself on this show?
I have watched it.
Have you had any regrets?
I mean, I constantly have regrets about everything, but yes, apparently I'm back for some reason. I don't know why.
Well, as you said, you live 3 minutes from the studio, so it's
I live
easy to get
3
you.
minutes from the studio. So it's like, what else am I doing?
I was watching something about like Facebook, and I don't want to talk about certain apps, but what I found is like the censorship on apps that you don't realize that is happening. You have CIA and FBI people that have left the agency to run these apps. I don't mean
Nice.
like they're programmers. I mean, they are the ones deciding what's coming out on this. Do you have a problem with the censorship that's going on with all this?
Well, yeah. I mean, as far as TikTok or Facebook, I know that you spent quite amount of time in jail.
Yes.
Facebook jail because you're pretty controversial.
I'm
I've
actually
never been in
shadowed.
jail, and it's weird.
I would prefer to go to jail because you don't get that notice where you're banned for 7 days or 30 days. Now,
Right.
Here's what I find odd. I never posted anything that was mean or attacking anybody.
Right.
I will say this. The one time I got in trouble was somebody had posted a picture that I know is a friend of mine making fun of the Honky Tonk Man, the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion in the 80s. And
Bastards.
all I said to him was, I will kick the ass of anybody who makes fun of the Honky Tonk Man. As a joke, I was banned for a week for that.
Yes.
But I see people talking about assaulting members of Congress and all that, that is completely fine. Where I got my first,
That's patriotic, actually.
where I got my first ban was when I changed the New York Post headline that said "Happy Birthday to Barbara Streisand," and I put a picture of Fabio with it and put that out, and I said she doesn't look a day over 60.
She does not.
That was the first ban I got, and now I found out on Instagram and Facebook that I am shadow banned because of all my fake headlines with fake pictures.
This I did not know.
Yeah. So when we make our fake movies that we do, like
Yes.
we release Heat or we put ourselves in Top Gun and all
Yes.
that, TikTok, it blows up. On Facebook, it gets 10 views. That's how I found out that I was being, because I used to get 800 views on a video.
Right.
And I thought, well, what's wrong with this? Then I've seen how many times I've violated their guidelines,
Okay.
which I'm sure you've done 100 times.
I don't know that the only time I can ever remember a warning was a few months ago. I can't remember, I commented on something and I said I hate the Germans. Can't remember what the context was.
The 40s Germans or the new Germans?
Well, like all of them, really. There's some exceptions.
Aren't you German?
I am.
I'm German.
I'm self-hating. Well, that goes
What did
without
I ever
saying.
do to you?
That goes without saying. We could tell with the beard.
Nate's older than he looks.
He is. He is. I think he's got some real some SS lineage
Yeah,
over there.
he's got a ton
It's
of pictures
pretty-
up that
it's
are
pretty
like
obvious.
banned somewhere else.
It's pretty obvious.
He's like Marge Schott. I just collect memorabilia.
Yeah.
That's the only reason it's in my office.
Yeah. Yeah. So his his dog's name is Goebbels, called Gerby. Oh, what's Gerby short for? Goebbels.
Yeah. Why do you have these mean dogs that are constantly like barking in the Bexley area?
So I think you got to get away from Facebook and go to TikTok. I guess that's the only conclusion, really.
TikTok still pulls things down for community standards. I haven't experienced that yet, but again, I'm not posting to do that. I'm trying to, what I want to do is have fun with an app. What I find is that the community guidelines for these things, they keep changing and I don't know what the rules are. I don't know what is okay and what is not, but it definitely seems to skew a certain way. So if you are pro Second Amendment or you are pro Trump or whatever that might be, those people seem to get in trouble. If you're on the other side, the Roe v. Wade thing, I mean, there was a lot of ugly stuff that was coming out about Roe v. Wade. I understand that you're upset, but I think people are going to regret some of the things that they posted when they look at it later and like, that's probably not a good representation of who I am. Or maybe they're not. I don't know.
Are you Team Roe or Team Wade?
I never liked Dwayne Wade. Lou Roe, when he played at Massachusetts, was heavily overrated.
Thank you.
Okay. I don't like power forwards that only play defense. He had no range.
Thank you, Michael Morris.
Yeah. And Dwayne Wade, the Flash, you gave yourself a nickname? I don't think so.
Right. Yeah. You can't give your T-Bone like Costanza in the board meeting. He gives us.
I think that'd be like if Nate walked around and he's like, just call me the Shark from now on. Like,
Yes.
what? Because that's what I want to be called. Don't give yourself a nickname. That's so douchebaggy.
So I did see the other day, and I think most people know my politics
And your
but-
proclivity.
and my proclivity. That the all the protesting is great. That's what there should be as far as in response to Roe versus Wade being overturned,
Or to anything you disagree with.
to anything you disagree with, and the sort of the catchphrase for that particular protest is the summer of rage or something.
Oh,
of
God, I thought you were
rage.
going to say something else. I'm like, that can't be a summer. You can have a summer.
Raging something, yeah. And I thought, I know there are certain political groups that could not have that as their sort of mantra, the summer of rage. I mean, but as far as it's again, I'm not even against it, but as far as the women primarily protesting the Supreme Court decision, I don't know that a lot of other political groups could have the mantra of the summer of rage. I don't know that would.
Do you
go
think it's
over.
coincidental that Rage Against the Machine is on tour for the first time since 2011?
Oh, fuck the police, Michael
could-
Morse. I mean, what is it? What's the song?
Only Dave.
Only Dave Freetag. Yes, who's just shown up at the door.
Wouldn't that be great if he did show
No,
up?
no gi, by the way. No
Yeah.
gi.
First of all, as we've discussed personally, I never knew what a gi was. And when he'd say, we're training at the Jiu-Jitsu Center, no gi. And I'm like, is he trying to say something else? I didn't realize that's your little pajamas.
Right, and I think
No offense to pajamas.
I think sometime after the success of this first live, you'll be able to replace the chairs here I mean, what are we sitting on? It's the summer of sticky thighs here.
I think I think these chairs are meant so that you start standing up like Pat McAfee when he does his show. He won't sit down. I think these are to flatten your ass out.
Yes.
So it's like you guys should probably walk more or something.
I do the show standing up. I am wearing skinny jeans and our community standards. Although I did notice on TikTok, I mean, I think nipples through the shirt is okay.
What's going on with that, by the way?
Here, I think a little
Not
bit.
yours. I mean, I saw.
I mean, this is good, right? I mean,
yeah, your domes are on fire right now, but I'm just saying I'm seeing that a
We'll
lot.
have to
on
blur
Twitter.
that on YouTube.
yes.
Well, what was it in the 60s? It was burn all the bras, and now the girls just aren't buying them.
There you go. I mean, who needs that impediment?
Do you think that now that you can stream anything, like you can go live doing anything, do you think people are more interesting the more you learn about them, or you think that they're just lonely? I'm not saying that in a negative way. What I'm saying is the things
Right.
I like to watch, especially on TikTok lives, are not what you would think. Like there's a guy, I wish I could remember his name because I would shout this guy out, that just goes and plays bingo like 6 days a week.
Yes, you were telling me about that. That's amazing.
I'm fascinated because the guy has two phones set up and he's live on one and he's reading off the other. But what I think is cool about it is he seems like a genuinely good person. I enjoy watching people do what they enjoy. You know what I mean? Or people that are collecting things or whatever it is. I enjoy when somebody shows you their hobby. Like this is a hobby, right?
Right.
So I'm sharing it. I don't know if anybody's going to like it or not. That's not the point. The reason to do this is to say anybody else could do the same thing. If you really want to do it, I just like to encourage people to like jump on it and give yourself a chance because it may suck and people may not like what they're watching now. It doesn't matter to me. The point is somebody out there might look at it and say, I want to do the same thing. And it encourages them to do that.
No, I agree. Yeah, the bingo thing is amazing. It gets a little frustrating because the ladies with the headlights on, they all have like 100,000 followers,
Right.
and I'm like, teetering at like 300 or something, and of course you have to get some content out there, but
their content is not really. They're not. I mean, that content's going to sell.
it will sell.
We could make a T-shirt out of that.
Yes.
And that would sell. But I know what you're saying. But again, it goes back to our base instincts. When a woman is wearing a bikini or something, that's going to draw your eye more than us talking about, January 6th or what's going on in Ukraine.
Right.
It doesn't sell. You know what I mean? Not sell, but it doesn't get your attention as much. But that's what I mean about, I think there's some people that are doing it for attention and not in a negative way. It's just something is lacking where I'm willing to do that because when we went to school in the 90s, every girl looked like Kurt Cobain. You know what I mean? The baggier the clothes, the better. Right. And they all looked like they were lumberjacks. And
Yes.
It was like plaid was like the thing, and the more you could look like a bum, the better.
And only 3 of them became lumberjacks.
Yeah, and we married not the lumberjacks, but we married those girls, and it's like as the trend changed, those girls in their 40s and 50s now are looking at like, why would you look at these girls? I'm like, because no girl looked like this when we were young.
Correct.
Like when we were 18, girls didn't look like this. They were wearing a Pantera shirt and they had like goth makeup before it was goth, and their hair was up to the ceiling like Marge Simpson.
Right, and that's where the shorts and the jeans came from that were like pulled up over their belly button.
Yes. Remember the bib overalls?
The bib overalls.
Every woman looked like she was baling hay right before we went to prom.
Right. And then like 10 or 15 years ago, there was like the dangerously low jeans. I'm like, where were we in high school? What's going on here?
I noticed that trend, and it's kind of like now every girl looks like she's going to pose for Playboy.
Right.
And it's like, we didn't get that experience.
We did not. So we need it now desperately.
But the 60s could have been worse because everybody wore a suit. Like when you see those old videos of people going to like ball games and stuff and they're wearing a suit. I know it was 98 degrees, you asshole. You didn't have to wear that.
I saw no Orioles sweatshirts back then at all.
Let me just say,
Right.
I'm glad you brought this up because they're going to make the playoffs this year and you guys are going to eat your words.
Has the season started? Am I supposed to be following?
Thing you've ever
They're
said.
one game under 500. And when I'm going to go, if they make the playoffs, I make this promise. I will be a game winner of the playoffs and I will broadcast the entire thing live. And I will bring a battery backup that will probably be the size of like a Ghostbusters backpack to make sure everyone can see it.
go back to your point.
Don't you
Broadcasting
mean-
live the things that people like to do, like you like losing your shit watching an Orioles game.
Can I just tell you this? After 4 or 5 years of constantly throwing things in my house,
Yes.
losing 8-1, and I'm like, why am I surprised by this? I'll be back tomorrow.
Right.
And
That's the way
now
it
I'm just
works.
excited that they're one game under 500.
It is exciting.
Yeah,
But where are they at in their division, though?
it doesn't matter. Let's not bring these things up.
I could say that because the Reds are even worse. So
You know, the thing that I will say is disappointing is there's more access to information now. And when you're looking, like if you're a Reds fan, every day the news gets worse and worse. So I feel like that kind of negativity, you don't need that in your life. You should only look up if
that's
they
why I
win.
don't pay attention anymore about baseball.
But don't you think that the majority of things, whether it's sport, like what is positive about any sport? Like, yes, I'm excited the Orioles, they're not going to make the playoffs, but if they do, I'll be there. But every story is so negative. Like
well,
we
did you
talked,
see about the Jackets? They signed that really awesome dude. So as long as he doesn't get
Johnny
injured,
Hockey?
Johnny Hockey.
yeah, super excited about that. But then what was the following day's headline?
I didn't see.
Why would he make such a move? What's wrong with him?
Correct.
Because
70 million reasons why, or whatever those.
Well, and so they're talking about the people that the Blue Jacks have. This is what I mean about social media. When you go on Twitter, everyone's super excited, and then 24 hours later, oh, they're still not going to make the playoffs, or they're still the
Yeah, I hate
shits or
that.
whatever. That's what I mean about social media. I think if we personally made the choice to just not engage in that, whether it's ignored or put something else out, it would be so much better. Because social media used to be fun.
Right.
Like you and I will have fun with things where
Correct.
we will get on somebody else's post and for no reason, it's really just about us at this point.
Correct.
And so we're not mocking that person. We're just mocking each other. And you'll see 200 comments underneath it and it's all of us.
And the more serious the topic, the better.
Right. So when it's somebody's talking about, oh, somebody, I can't believe the government did this and this and this, and it's about guns. And then we start jumping in and put Terminator memes and then
Right.
the Punisher and all that. It literally just takes the steam off that initial post. All I'm trying to do is maybe it's not so serious and we can have some fun here.
Yeah, you would think so. I mean, it's good to have that. And going back to, I know what we talked about a few weeks ago, sort of that marketplace of ideas as far as social media, and then any sort of government intervention in there it's the town square, and so people are talking. It's good to talk about things, but also it doesn't have to be so serious all the time. And you're not changing anyone's mind, but
That's the thing. That's
Yeah.
that's the main point. You and I can disagree about something, but if we're having a conversation, we wouldn't do it for 2 hours.
Correct.
You just kind of go, okay, we got it.
Okay, yeah.
But when you're waiting on someone to type their response and it's like, we get it, man. You hate this. We already know.
Yeah.
It's when somebody like we're disagreeing on Facebook and then Nate jumps in and goes, guys, it's not that serious. Now we're pointing our guns at him and I go, who the hell are you?
right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So, yeah, Michael,
It's good
I
times.
agree. Orioles.
I love
Actually, I
that this
disagree.
started with dating apps and then we're trying to talk about things that are positive. Let's hope on your dating apps none of those girls are positive.
I'm just trying to encourage you to get on a dating app and find another Orioles
He
fan.
doesn't understand. As I've said many times on this podcast, I want to be Will Smith in I Am Legend, just me and my dog walking around and everybody else is gone. That's the world I want to live in. There's no lines for anything. I don't have to worry about it. I get to drive a Camaro that I found. That's the life I want. I'm not trying to invite more people into my life.
Well, you are Grove City's most eligible bachelor
It will remain that way because everyone else will get married here at least 2 to 3 times.
in this room
Yeah.
on this side of the table.
I think it's fair to say-
the right side of the table.
Oh, listen. Can you imagine if Nate was single?
I mean, God.
That guy he'd be caterwauling with everybody.
It's
2
like-
at a time if he could.
Yeah, it's like Sherman through Atlanta. He would just be.
You think a
burning-
man that wears a
burning
dress?
path.
Yeah. I love that that was a reference.
He would be burning a path.
He would be blazing a path from Columbus to Georgia, and every woman in between would be handled. Listen, man, I want to say for the first live that we've ever done, TikToky Live, I think this went really well. I wish I would have had a different person to do it with, but you've been fun.
True. TikTok, don't stop. It's been fun. I've been fun. Are we still going?
And on that note,
Can we edit?
Oh, my
what he
grandma
said
just
out?
can we edit like
Your grandma
everything?
just swipe right.
she just texted me like, what are the dating apps? Oh. I'm sorry. I got to set my
Sorry, Gran.
I got to set my age range a bit lower, under 90.
Well, on that note,
You never know what the net you cast a wide net. Michael Morris.
we are going to do a whole show. If you catch one of those bass and that's over 63, that's all we're talking about for half an hour.
I mean, let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
You've been listening to Broad Street Radio. We'll see you next week.